Hello, everyone. Today I'm coming to you just as a person. I'm still wearing the hat, but it's not really a science and perspective, but just wanted to share some of the thoughts that I have now on the broader discussions that we are having around the world and in our communities. A lot of people are using the word freedom, and I saw a friend today post that their freedom ends where mine begins, or my freedom ends where yours begins. And I had to challenge them. And my view is that one, freedom is not something that you can gain by taking it away from someone else. So as soon as you get into that mentality where my freedom is dependent on you not having your freedom, that's not freedom. The way I see it is many people are confusing freedom with extending the limits of their bondage. And so, just like you have an animal that's chained at the neck with a short chain, and maybe they can't reach some resources that they see just out of the length of their chain, you extend that chain by 2 feet and they feel like they got more freedom. And so we may be bound to the socioeconomic structures that we're fighting against, and at the end of the day we're struggling to get more money. We're engaging in all these different activities that are predetermined by the need for money in society, and so we get more money, but we're still chained to the money. And the more money we get, the longer that chain is, but we're still chained. But when we stop looking at money as the end and we start looking at the other resources that we have, the personal resource of time to communicate with family and friends, the resource of our personal, mental, and physical health, and we consider that, how much money are we spending so that we can gain some of that? Perhaps we can look at it in a different way, and wealth can become freedom instead of more money becoming more freedom. I also pointed out to him that in relationships we may seek more interaction, more sex, more phone calls, and we want to bind someone to us in this way. But that person who perhaps is not normally communicative or not normally very physically intimate, they're now being bound to this perception of what you see as a relationship, or you're bound to this perception of what you have to do to be in a relationship, and then that's also not love. And so there's all these different things where we're bound to certain perceptions, and by changing those perceptions of what we're calling freedom and looking at what are our bonds or what is binding us to these different perceptions, perhaps we can really actually find freedom. Everyone's taken over by, if I own this piece of property, you can't own it. Or if you have this tree in your yard, then I don't have access to that. That's us being bound to these concepts of ownership and what we think is safety and security. These concepts of drawing a line between races, between different types of people, different nationalities, when we say we fight for our freedom by killing someone else in their country, by going to another area and telling people what they can or cannot do, that's not freedom. That's us being bound to allegiance to some code of conduct that says killing is a difficult but necessary thing to do for you to protect what? Land? Money? The right to the land or money? And really someone else's right to the land or money, because in the end, most of the people that are out there doing the killing and the foot soldiers, they never own any of those resources that they fight and kill for. There's so much that goes into this. As a student, as an educator, there's always this thought of people infringing on your intellectual copyright. And I'm always kind of on the fence about how much knowledge do you have to own, or how much knowledge belongs to the world. And of course, it's a challenge for me in academia, but that's part of the reason why Science and Perspective is generally just free knowledge, as much as I can share for people who need to get that science and perspective. Those are just some of my thoughts for today, and I hope that y'all appreciated it. I hope that you got something from it, and I hope that we can all break free of our bonds and maybe share some freedom with people around us in our communities. Love y'all. Y'all be safe and take care of one another.